Guys, welcome to MoBileMaThS with Gumtray. Today I want us to look at quadratic sequences 1. Okay, so for introduction, when we talk of a quadratic sequence, we are looking at sequences of numbers in which the second difference between any two consecutive terms is constant. I'll show you what we mean by that. Let's have an example of the general formula for the nth term of a quadratic sequence. Okay, so for the general formula we have got Tn is equals to a to the power of n plus bn. It's like we are deriving from the quadratic equations. If you remember, our quadratic equations have got this squared, and then we have got a constant at the end of the day. For example, 0 is equals to 2x squared plus 5x plus 7. Okay, that's where we are getting the quadratic from. Okay, now having that information, we can now say we want to find for the value of t1. Let's see if we find the value of t1 for this one. Let's find for the value of t1 using this general formula that we have. Okay, for t1 we can say we are going to substitute for every n with 1, n with 1, n with 1, n with 1. So I'll have Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Okay, this becomes T1 is equals to a plus b plus c. Okay, this is the term number 1. Okay, that we have. Let's do for term number 2. Term number 2 becomes we are using the same equation. Term number 2, this becomes, we have got it's now a by 2 squared plus b by 2 plus c. Okay, like that. This becomes, at the end of the day, our t2 becomes 4a plus 2b plus c. Okay, this is t2. Let's do for t3. T3 becomes a by 3 squared plus b by 3 plus c. Okay, and if we simplify this, we'll get 9a plus 3b plus a c. This is term number 3. Let's do for t4. T4 will get our T4 as a by 4 squared plus b by 4 plus our c. So this becomes 16a plus 4b plus c. Okay, so these are our terms. Let me rewrite all of our terms together and have them in a form of a result. Let's see. Okay, let's write all our terms where we had our n1. We had our n is equals to 1, n is equals to 2, n is equals to 3, n is equals to 4. Okay, so this would give us term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, term number 4. Okay, so let's write all of those terms on one page there. Okay, so I'm going to have these terms like this. Okay, so having those terms, I'll have for the first one, I had a plus b plus c. Okay, the second one, I had 4a plus 2b plus c. Third one, I had 9a plus 3b plus c. Last one, I had 16a plus 4b plus c. Okay, like that. These are the terms that we got. Now with those terms, what we now want to do is this. We want to find the first difference. So I want to find the first difference. So first difference first difference, I want to find, this is D1, I'll just say it D1. I'll find T2 minus T1. And I'll also find T3 minus T2. And I'll also do for T4 minus T, like that. Okay, so let's do that to find our first difference. Let me rub off this so that we continue using that information above there. Okay, so for the common difference now, I will have the differences from these points. I have got for this one and this one, for this one and this one, and for this one and for that one. So that's the D1 that we want to find. Okay, so for D1, if we do that, I'm saying T2 minus T1. I will have 4A plus 2B plus C minus A plus B plus C. If we do that, I'll get here, this one and this one will subtract each other. Then I'll have 3A, 2B minus B, I'll get plus B. Then C minus C, I'll get this, I'll get a 0. So this is the first difference. Okay, so the first difference I'm getting 3A plus B. Okay, the second one, if I do this one, 9A minus 4A, I get 5A plus 2B, 3B minus 2B, I get a B. Okay, like that. The last one, 16A minus 9A, I get 7A plus a B. Okay, so these are the first differences that we have. Now we want to go and find the second difference, this one. So this is the D2, second difference. Okay, so finding the second difference, it's like now I'm now subtracting this one minus this one. Okay, then when I'm done with that, I'll go on to the next one and subtract this one minus this one. Okay, so let's do that. So starting with this one, starting with the first one, okay, I'm subtracting this one and this one. So I'll get 5A minus 3A, I'll get a 2A. B minus B, I get 0. Okay, fine. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so 7B minus 5A plus B, I'll get 7A minus 5B, I'll get a 2A. B minus that one, so I've got the same. So here is what we were saying. We were saying that when we have a quadratic sequence from an arithmetic sequence, we have this has got a common difference. This has got the second common difference, which is the same. This is the common second difference that we are talking about. Okay, having that information, we are going to apply this to calculate and solve other information. Okay, so remember our formula for our quadratic sequence. We had Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. The c and the b are constants. Okay, our a is our a there. This a is a constant term that is equal to half of the second difference. That's the value of a. We are taking it from this point. Then n, this n there, which is everywhere there, a there, is the position of the term in the sequence. This can be T1, so it will be 1, or T2, it could be 2. So it's the position of the term in the sequence. Okay, so maybe now let's have an example. Okay, let's have an example. Now we want to look at an example. This question is asking us determine an algebraic expression that represents the nth term of the sequence. For 7, 14, 25. Okay, so for this we can have this as T1, T2, T3, T4. Okay, so let's find the first difference. So I'm going to find the first difference there. First difference. So this will be the first D. I will just say D1. 7 minus 4, I get a 3. 14 minus 7, I get a 7. 25 minus 14, I will get 11. Let's find the second difference. I'm now finding this one. 7 minus 3, I get a 4. 11 minus 7, I get a 4. Okay, so this is where we have, and we have a constant second difference, D2 there. So having that information, it means this sequence there is a quadratic sequence. Since it's a quadratic sequence, we have this formula, Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Okay, we have proved that it is a quadratic sequence because it has got constant second difference. Now we can now calculate the value of a. How do we calculate our value of a? Remember, when we were deriving, we got our second difference as 2a from our first derivation of quadratic sequences. We can now equate this to the second difference that we got from this question. Our question, we got our second difference as 4. So we can simply say 2a is equal to 4, and we get our a is equal to 2. This is how we get the a there. Okay, now we can substitute on our formula. Substituting on our formula, we have got Tn is equal to 2n squared plus bn plus c. Okay. Okay, now we have that information. Let's go on to find and to substitute for T1 is equals to 4, T2 is equals to 7, and we have two equations that we can solve for. Now we have got, it's like before we do that, we had to find a using this because we had 3 unknown. We had a here, b and c. It's difficult to find unknown values like that, but now we have got the value of a. We now have 2 unknowns, and when we have 2 unknowns, we can substitute with any terms that we have, and we can find using some simultaneous equations and find the values of b and c. That's what we are now going to do. Let's do that. If we go back to our formula, we had our sequence as 4, 7, 14, 25, and we said for this sequence 4 there is our T1, this is our T2, this is our T3, and our T4. Okay, like that. So I can either use this one and this one, T1 and T2. Okay, where we are saying we can have Tn is equals to, our formula is now 2n squared plus bn plus c. We can now substitute on this formula with either T1 and T2. Okay, this is what we are now going to do. Let's do that. Substituting these two, I will get, for T1, I will get 2 by 1 squared plus b by 1 plus c. So I'll have 2 plus b plus c. Okay, and my T1 is 4, so I can simplify there and get, this one goes this side and becomes 4 minus 2. I'll get a 2 is equal to b plus a c. So this is a c there, this was a c, this is a c. I wrote 2 there instead of c. Okay, so this becomes equation number 1. Okay, let's go for T2. For T2, T2 is equal to 2 by 2 squared plus b by 2 plus a c. Okay, this becomes T2 is our 7. 2 squared 4 by 2, we get 8 plus 2b plus c. And this one going this side, it becomes 10 minus 8, we get minus 1 is equals to 2b plus a c. This is equation number 2. Okay, so we now have two equations that we are going to solve simultaneously, and I can even say equation 2 minus equation 1. So I'll write minus 1 is equals to 2b plus c. Equation 2. My equation 1 is 2 is equals to b plus a c. So this is my equation number 1. I can subtract these two like that. Okay, let's subtract these two and see what do we get. If we subtract minus 1 minus 2, we get, what do we get? We get minus 3 there. Okay, 2b minus b, we get b. C minus c, we get. So in other words, for this one, we are getting, our b value as minus 3. Now we have got our b, we can substitute and get our c value. Our c becomes, if we use equation number 1, which was 2 is equals to b plus c. So our c becomes 2 minus b is equals to c. So our c is 2 minus 3. So our c becomes a 5. Once we have this, we can now go to our quadratic equation, which was Tn. It was Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Okay, we have all the values now. So the general term that we have at the end of the day is now Tn is equals to 2n squared minus 3n plus 5. That's how we do this. Okay, now having that, let's have one more example. Okay, given Tn is equals to n squared plus bn plus c, determine the values of b and c if the sequence starts with the terms 2, 7, 24, 23. Okay, so this is my T1, T2, T3, T4. Okay, so with that information, we can find the values of our A, B, and C. Okay, so to start with, we can find the first term. Okay, so when we have such an equation, it means when we have such an equation, we can start with the first term. We have got our n as 1. Let's have our n as 1. N is equals to 1. And when we have our n is equals to 1, it means our T1 is equal to 2. Okay, we have that information. Let's go on. T1 is equals to, using our formula, is equals to 1 squared plus b by 1 plus c. Okay, our T1, we said is 2, so it's going to be 2. So it's like this question, we are given the A values. We don't have to calculate the A values. We just want to find the value of B and C. We have skipped the part of calculating or equating to 2A, the second difference. That's how we are answering this question anyway. So having that information, we are saying 2 is equal to 1 plus B plus C. And at the end of the day, we get 1 is equals to B plus c. This becomes equation number 1. Let's go for our n is equals to 2. When our n is equals to 2, our T2 we said is equals to 7. Sorry, it's equals to 7. Okay, using our formula, Tn Tn is equals to n squared plus bn plus c. Okay, our T2 becomes what? T2 is now 2 squared plus b by 2 plus c. Okay, and we know the value of our T2, which is 7, is equals to 4 plus 2b plus a c. This one goes this side. We have 3 is equals to 2b plus a c. Okay, we now have equation number 2. Okay, so now we have got two equations. We can either do or solve this one by substitution. Let's have a look at our equation number 1. So equation number 1 was this one. We can either substitute, say for example, I can have b is equals to 1 minus c. Okay, let's substitute that. B is equals to, we are saying b is equals to 1 minus c. 1 minus c. So I'm going to substitute for b here. Okay, let's do that. So I'll end up having 3 is equals to 2 by 1 minus c is plus c there. Okay, let's solve that. We have 3 is equals to 2 minus 2c plus a c. Okay, and we'll get this one comes here, it becomes 1 is equals to minus 2c plus a c. Okay, this becomes 1 is equals to minus c. So at the end of the day, we are saying our c is equals to minus 1. Now we have got our c. Remember, we used the equation b is equals to 1 minus c. Okay, so we had b is equals to 1. B is equals to 1 minus c. We can now substitute b is equals to 1 minus 1. So our b value is equals to 2. So we have solved these were the answers that we were supposed to find. So our b is 2 and our c is minus 1. So that's how you solve such a question. Okay, so let's say if you want to see that this is correct, you go back. We have our c. Let's go back to our to see if we can get the, let's say we want to find t. We want to find T3 there. T3 using this formula there. And we said our a value is our c is minus 1, our b is 2. Okay, let's see if we'll get the value of T3. We say is equals to T3 is equals to n3 squared plus 2 by 3 plus, so I can simply say minus 1 there, minus 1 there. This becomes 9 plus 6 minus 1. What do we get? 9 plus 6, we get 15. At the end of the day, we'll get 14. Okay, we'll get 14. So this is how we can even solve and see. Sorry, from the formula, this was 14 here. This was 14. You can even cross check if you want. You can do the same for T4. Let's do it for T4. For T4, I'm now simply going to substitute. Let me just substitute for 4 here. 4 here. Okay. For 4, so it means I'm looking for T4 is equals to 4 squared by this one. 4 squared, we get 16. Then we get plus 2 by 4, we get 8 minus 1. So 16 plus 8, we get 24 minus 1, we get 23. Okay, so this is what we do. This is the one. Okay, so that's how you do these questions. Okay, otherwise guys, Please remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel and share our videos. Bye bye for now.